Okay, you can start lying on your back in Shavasana. Allow the weight of your body to drop down, bones, muscles, connective tissues, organs. Notice your skin. Notice any places where you're holding on to tension or stress or strain, even just a tiny bit, and maybe softening slightly in those areas. Relaxing the muscles in your face, your jaw, allowing your joints to kind of hang a little bit more toward the floor. Notice your breath moving naturally. Notice any sensations inside, tingling, pulsing, streaming, gurgling, vibrating. Notice with kind attention anything else that's bubbling to the surface of your awareness. And in large part, let your practice be a practice of presence, training in being here with what's here. We begin our movement inquiry by planting both feet about hips width apart. You can take arms out to a T or to cactus. Cactus opens the lungs and the shoulders and the chest a little bit more. With your exhalation, press your spine, lower spine, into the floor. And with your inhalation, find a little back bend, making that gap between the spine and the floor. Follow your breath. When you exhale and press the back down, also draw the whole abdominal wall down. So that whole area from below the ribs to just above the hips, draw it down like it's suction cupping to the inner back body. A few more times here. You can also engage Mula Bandha, the root seal, drawing in and up with the pelvic floor muscles. You could let it go on the inhale and activate it on the exhale. With that abdominal engagement, notice if it's even throughout that whole abdominal wall, or maybe you have a little harder time engaging right below the ribs or on one side or just above the hips. just above the pelvis. Let's add a little head nod here. So when you find your back bend, chin moves toward the chest, head stays on the ground. And then when you root through the spine, chin lifts away from the chest by sliding the back of the head along the ground. Last one. Gradually return to neutral spine. Let's take the arms out to a T and straighten the right leg. The left foot is still planted. Left shoulder stays rooted for this next inquiry. It's the unwinding. Rock to the inner edge of the left foot and swing the knee across the midline and away from you toward your right foot, essentially. You could do it on the inhale or the exhale. Both are worth exploring, and then back to center when the breath changes direction. Be active here in this movement. Push the inner edge of the foot into the ground. Really reach the knee away from you and engage left glute. Everything can kind of relax and soften when the leg comes back to vertical. Let's add a head rotation. Knee goes to the right-ish, head rotates to the left. Right leg is totally relaxed here, it's not doing a thing. Going slow. Last one on this side. And then simply switching sides, right foot planted, left leg straight. Now we don't permit the right shoulder to come up unless that's straining or, pain for you. Rocking to the inner edge of the right foot, push the inner edge of the foot into the ground, really reach through the knee, across and away from you, rocking in and out, squeeze right buttock when you reach through the leg. At some point you can add head rotation to the right. Often the glutes have a different experience. One might be easier to fire. Sometimes if the glute's not firing, seems to be sleeping on the job, you can just tap it a few times and that'll help kind of wake it up. So if you do the movement on the inhale, that's going to give you more opportunity to expand the front body. If you tend to be kind of rounded in your posture, that would be a good idea. If on the flip side, you tend to have rib flare, I like to come into the movement on the exhale so I can keep the ribs down and not accentuate the back bend. Couple more times on this side. And then at the end of that one, whatever it is for you, you can slide the legs straight and bring your arms down by your sides. We're going to focus a little bit on the wrists now. So let's keep, for the first part of this movement, the forearms stay on the ground. We flex the wrists so the palms face away from you and the fingertips point up toward the ceiling, pulling the fingers back toward you, toward your shoulders, essentially. Holding that for a moment. And then from here, drop the hands down, make fists with your hands. Tuck your knuckles under so they slide toward your elbows. So elbows stay on the ground, but now part of the forearms come off the ground. So you can kind of tuck the knuckles under and push the top of the hands forward. So feel the stretch on the top of the hand and the top of the wrist. And go back and forth here. So first we're making that stop sign action with the hands, and then making fists and rolling the knuckles under and pressing the top of the wrist forward. Go slow here, hold at the end range for at least a few seconds with each end of the stretch. I mean, the elbows might come up, the whole arm might come up if you really drive the front of the wrist forward. That's just a result though. We're not lifting the arms on purpose. So it just depends on your range of motion and how deep into the stretch you're going. Anybody who's at the computer a lot or texting a lot, writing, this would be really good to do on a regular basis. Go a couple more times. See if you can keep your fingers curled in when you come into the fist. Fingers curled in toward the palms. That might be tough. Stretching the wrists would also be good for any kind of elbow pain you might be encountering. Last one. And then just let the arms and hands and wrists relax totally on the ground for a moment. Let's plant both feet once again and interlace the hands underneath the head at the bottom of the skull. This is our side scrub, so we're not going to lift the head or the arms at this point. We're working with gravity as much as possible and finding a side bend. So sliding the upper body to one side. One elbow ends up reaching kind of overhead. The other slides down toward the hip. You could pause at the end range here. Feel that space you're creating in the side body through the whole waist, armpit, upper arm, and then take it over to the other side. Pause at the end range for at least a few seconds. Side to side we go. You want to add a little bit of leg activity, hip activity. It's not much, but whatever elbow is reaching overhead, you can push the same side foot into the ground and essentially drive the knee forward. It's not going to really go anywhere, but like you're lunging the knee forward a little bit will change the sensation. It's harder to get that lunge action if the feet are far away from you. Possibly, maybe not for you. So, but you might try if you're not really feeling it, and you can draw the heels close to the sitting bones. So that's worth experimenting. Like, where do I place my feet in order to root through the foot, move the knee forward? A tiny, tiny movement. We're working a lot with subtlety here. You could rotate your head to look toward the overhead reaching elbow. If you're feeling compression in your lower back, try bringing the lower spine closer to the floor and the front of the rib cage down. Sometimes we get back bendy any chance we get. It's just like our body's default. And then a lot of what we do ends up aggravating the back because we're working it that way all the time. So let's go one or two more times with our side scrub. And then once you're back to center, keep the hands at the base of the skull. Now walk your feet further away from you so they're not directly underneath your knees. And we're working with neutral pelvis here. So it can be called triangle table, pubic bone, and the two bony points in the front of your pelvis are all horizontal on the same plane. And there'll be a little gap between the lower spine and the floor. So if you could maintain that and just kind of walk your upper spine a little bit more away from your hips. Create a little bit more length. Okay, rooting evenly through each toe, four corners of the feet. Take a breath in here. You can press the arms down to get a little more opening through the chest, shoulders. And then don't change your pelvis. Keep it neutral as you curl up. Peel the shoulder blades up off the ground and squeeze the elbows together. It's really convenient. When your head is up, you can look and see, did your pubic bone pop up and the lower back root down? That's not what we're going for today. Inhale down, expanding, exhale up. Really getting the shoulder blades off the ground as much as you can. Some elements you could add here with this movement, that same abdominal drawing down. So you can imagine suction cups and the inner border of your back. And we're drawing the whole abdominal wall down. It's like that. sound can help you get a sense of what we're doing here. You can also engage Mula Bandha, in and up with the pelvic floor. One more time, and then we'll stay up and add a very, very small diagonal. So just slightly over to the left. Keep lifting the shoulder blades up, elbows together, and then kind of arc up through center, more shoulder blades off the ground, and then just slightly off center to the right. Let's just go 2 more times with this one. Press the sacrum down, keep the pelvis neutral, tiny bit off the midline, arc up through center to the other side. Watch the pelvis. And then arc back through center and lower down. Let's slide the legs out straight and rest in Shavasana. Notice what you notice. Okay, from here, please plant your left foot. So left knee is on the ground, now left foot is on the ground, left knee is pointing up. We're gonna bring the right foot underneath the left leg and see if we can take hold of the right foot with the left hand. So right leg is kind of in like that tree pose, Baddha Konasana shape. You can't reach the foot, you can use a belt, scarf, towel, or you can just not make the connection, but have it as close as comfortable. And then right arm into cactus. So a lot going on for the setup. Just to review, left foot is planted with the knee bent. Right foot is tucked underneath the left leg, close to the sitting bone. We're connecting left foot to right hand if possible. And right arm is in cactus. Okay, so from here, we simply, maybe not easy, but just a small movement, reaching your right knee toward the foot edge of your mat, and the left hand can pull the foot in to increase that stretch through the right side, maybe the front of the hip, all the way down. I feel it mostly in the quad and a little bit on the inner thigh. You can do that on the inhale and then just relax your effort on the exhale, but keep hold of the foot if you have it. And just that move a couple more times. Reach the knee away, draw the foot in. Hip is in some extension, so engaging the right glute would be helpful here. Reach through the knee, hold at the end range for a moment. Similar action to that lunging the knee away when we did the side bend, if that kind of connects the dots for you. And now we're going to add a slide of the right arm to relatively straight or fully straight overhead, so it's on the ground as you reach the right knee opposite. So working this stretch, this line of energy from the right knee all the way to the right fingertips. And then when you relax the right leg, let the right arm slide back to where it started in cactus. If the arm can go right alongside the head, go for that. If you're getting shoulder pinchiness, take the arm more to the diagonal wherever you're not running into acute pain. Option to add one more element is that unwinding action we did earlier with the left leg. So we rock to the inner edge of the left foot. Now both glutes can activate, both knees reach away, and then everything coming back to center. There's a lot going on here. Feel free to pick and choose the elements that are working for you. If it's not working altogether. Last couple times on this side. And then at the end of that one, let's go back into Shavasana for a moment. Pretty complex movement. So coming back to the midline. Feel your breath. Second side, right foot plants. Left foot tucks underneath the right leg. We're letting that left knee drop out like tree pose. Maybe taking hold of left foot with right hand or creating a connection with the tool like a belt, and left arm into cactus. Starting just with that reach of the left knee. It might be more energetic than an actual lot of movement. Hold at the end range for a moment and then let it go. So as you reach the knee away from the hip, you can tug on the left foot with your right hand to accentuate and assist with the stretch. Wouldn't be uncommon to get a cramp here in your hamstring. You might have to release for a moment. If you do, shake it out. Squeezing left glute to help open the front of this left hip. Whenever you feel ready, incorporating the arm slide. So now our stretch goes from the knee all the way up the leg, through the hip, through the side body, the arm to the fingers. Working with gravity. Maybe working with your breath. Going slow. When you like, you could add the unwinding, rock to the inner edge of the right foot. The right knee swings to point same direction the left knee is pointing. Everything coming back to center after a brief hold, or maybe a longer hold, or maybe barely any hold. tracking sensation. Couple more times. And when you are ready, come back into the full release of Shavasana. Notice what you notice. Please plant your feet again, some distance from your sitting bones to find your neutral pelvis. Keeping that neutral pelvis, triangle table. I like to have my hands down there, just extra feedback and to kind of keep myself honest so I don't tuck here. Bring the knees up over the hips. And then interlace the hands behind the head at the base of the skull. So some action in the feet, they're wakeful. And we'll do that same spinal undulation, maintaining neutral pelvis. So inhaling, if you like, you can press the elbows down. And then exhale, be sure to squeeze the elbows together, peel the shoulder blades up off the ground. So legs and pelvis are just staying where they are. Following your breath. Inhale down. When you come up, engage the abdominal wall, all of it. Drop on the pelvic floor. A few more times. As much of the shoulder blades as possible coming up off the ground. Last one. Then release the head down, feet down, slide the legs out straight, rest your arms. And just be for a moment, just be here. Please roll onto your side, either side, simple side sequence here. We'll start with straight arms, straight legs. Consider using the back edge of your mat as a guide. So the sacrum and the back of your head align with the back edge of the mat. This ensures there's no hip hinge and no forward head action. Plant your top foot just behind your bottom leg. Both arms are stretching straight. You can take hold of your top wrist with your bottom hand and tug. So we've worked this action a couple times now. Same idea with this bent knee, this planted foot. Push the foot into the ground and reach the knee away from you. Create a little bit more length. So you can drop the bottom ribs down, the whatever side of the ribs you're lying on. So you can let them sink down toward the floor a little bit more. Release the wrist. We're taking a half hero, a half virasana now. So the top leg stays bent, but now we reach back for the foot. Be sure the knee's not winging up unless it causes knee pain. We're drawing the knee down so the thighs are parallel. Draw the front ribs toward the back body so we focus on the hips without any spinal extension. And then same action, reach the knee away, draw the foot in, and engage the glute. And you're pulling the foot in, but also resisting. Push the foot into the hand a little bit as well. Carefully release the foot. Whenever you're ready. And then we're just rolling for the second side. Consider using the back edge of your mat as a guide. There's no hip hinge, no forward head posture, sacrum and back skull aligned with the back edge of the mat. Plant your top foot just behind your bottom leg. Take hold of your top wrist with your bottom hand. Tug for a little traction and press the foot into the ground and reach the knee away from you. Release the wrist. Reach back behind you for the top ankle or foot. Maybe foot better for today. Draw the foot in. Resist the foot a little bit, pushing it into the hand. Reach your knee away from you. Absorb the front ribs toward the back body. And gently release and roll onto your back again. Let's pause in Shavasana. Okay, plant your feet about hips width apart. They can be closer if you like them that way. It's your default. We're not going for the neutral pelvis with this round of our spinal undulation. So more flexion and extension. Your feet are hips width, hands are at the base of the skull. Inhale. Let's add a back bend element here. So really lifting the spine away from the floor, rooting the arm bones down, and then exhale, flatten the back into the ground, curl up, elbows in. A few times here. Extension of the spine on the inhale and flexion of the spine with the exhale. Last couple times, notice how and where this feels different than keeping the pelvis neutral. And then once the head comes down, slide the legs out straight. And now please roll to lie on your belly. You can start with hands stacked. So elbows are wide, shoulders are relaxed, forehead on hands. Okay, let's keep the right forearm parallel to the short edge of the mat, pretty much where it is right now, and stretch your left arm forward. Palm is facing down. And from here, let's tuck the toes under. Drive through the heels, squeeze the glutes, root the pelvis, and then press the left hand and right forearm down to rise up. It's a little back bend here. Right shoulder blade in particular down the back, both of them, but more so the right will need to activate. Gaze is down, so back of the neck is long. And then keep the arm position, even keep toes tucked under. Let's just come down for a brief rest. And then come back up again. This time, option to lift the left arm, reaching it forward. Palm can stay down, superhero style. Gaze stays down, so chin is slightly tucked. Energy through the heels. Lower down, again, keep the arm position. Can relax the legs. Keep the toes tucked. This time, actually, we're going to bring the left arm down alongside the body. And then active glutes, root down through the right forearm, lift up, reach the left arm back. So palm faces in, thumb points down, reaching the left arm back toward the left foot. Gaze is down. I keep reminding myself, I'm not sure if you need the reminder too. And then lower down. Again, come on up. Left arm reaches back, right arm roots down. Super active glutes. Bend your left knee. Maybe reach to connect. Left foot, left hand. Pressing the foot back into the hand. As you also pull the foot in with the hand. Gaze is down. Gently release. all the way back to prone shavasana, where hands are stacked and head is down. Second side, left arm stays where it is, forearm parallel to the short edge of the mat, right arm stretching forward, palm down, tuck your toes under, drive back through the heels, sink the pubic bone down, squeeze your glute muscles and rise up. So the right hand is staying down, pressing down, the shoulders move down the back. Lower down. Come back up. We're working in stages, so you don't need to continue with the next stage. It's up to you. The next stage is to lift the right arm up. Palm faces down. Lower down. Bring the right arm alongside the body. Come back up. Right palm faces in, thumb points down, shoulders down the back, chest rising, glutes, glutes, glutes. That protects the back. Lower to rest. Last round here, rising up, reaching back through the right arm, maybe reaching to hold the right foot. Push the foot back, pull the foot in, press the left arm down, gaze is down. Carefully release the foot, stack the hands, lower to rest. Bring your forehead down to the mat. Bring both arms alongside the body. Tuck the toes under. Lift head, lift chest. Palms face inward, thumbs point downward, arms leave the ground, hands leave the ground. Reach back, back, back. Good. Draw the abdominals away from the ground. That same suction cup action toward the inner back. Lower to rest, maybe turning the head to one side. Okay, last round in this prone back bending series, forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes under. Rising up, palms face inward, thumbs point downward. Really lift the front of the shoulders away from the ground. Stay here or bend both knees. You don't need to hold the feet. Or you could reach back to hold the feet. We want to try to avoid really getting one foot then the other. If you can, get both feet at the same time. Push the feet toward the hands as you pull the feet back. Dhanurasana. And then lower down, all the way down. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Press back, child's pose. Breathe into your back. When you're ready, you take your blanket off of your mat, or if you've been working on a carpet, grab your mat. And we'll come into downward facing dog. Feel free to move and explore this shape. Okay, we're coming into a lunge next. You can just step right forward, or option first to bring left leg up and back into three-legged dog. It's a slow, intentional movement. And let's try to keep the hips square here, hips level. And then shift forward, and as you do, hug the knee in toward the chest. Place your left foot between your hands. So we're in a runner's lunge. If you need to, you can bring your right knee down, hands to the thigh, rising up. Let's bend the back knee and see if we can find that neutral pelvis again. So it's more of an upright lunge than a forward-oriented lunge. You might need to keep that back knee bent to maintain that neutral pelvis. You might be able to re-extend to some degree. Option to bring the arms up alongside the ears. Last few breaths here. Some things you can play with are that scissoring action, so front foot dragging back, back foot dragging forward, and engaging your right glute, your back buttock. Also, Mula Bandha, the root seal. Gradually bring your hands down to the ground and the knee down to the ground. We're coming into yet another quad stretch. You might want extra padding under this right knee. You can grab your blanket or fold your mat in. For some folks, it's easier to get the foot when you're forward. You can get the foot with either hand. Often one is easier than the other. Some of you can grab with both hands. And then you can come back upright potentially. Drag that front foot back without moving it. Push the right knee into the ground. Some of us are kind of anterior tilted here, very difficult. We're trying to almost like tuck the booty under. Foot pulling in, foot pressing out. Sometimes the knee's unhappy here. You might have to shift a little bit. We're not directly on the center of the knee, almost more toward the quad for, knee happiness. Carefully release the foot and make your way back to downward facing dog. Simply stepping right foot forward is one option. The other option is to slowly raise the right leg up and back to three-legged dog. Keep your hips level here. And then as you shift forward toward a plank shape, hug the thigh in toward the trunk and keep the hips high. Place the right foot between the hands. If you need to, you can lower that left knee down. Bring your hands to your thigh, rise up. Bend your back knee. See if you can come more to neutral pelvis. And then perhaps to some degree, you can straighten the back leg without disrupting the pelvis. Option to stretch the arms up alongside the ears. Front foot can drag back without moving, right? Gripping into the mat. Back glute active. When you do that, notice what it changes, right? Don't just do it without feeling it. Bring the hands down. Bring the knee down, maybe tucking extra padding underneath the knee. And then finding a way, maybe it's a belt instead of your hand, to reach for the foot with either hand. I like both hands personally because I like to feel a little more symmetrical, but it's good to do it different sometimes. And then tendency is for the butt to poke back and the spine to arch. We want to try to go opposite here. So tuck under, drag the front foot back, squeeze the back glute. Draw the foot in, but push it back as well. Knee reaching down. Carefully release the foot. And make your way back to downward facing dog. Brush your spine with breath. Walk your feet up toward your hands. And rise to stand. Sweep the arms up if you like. And then release your arms down. Okay, feel free to go over to a wall for a little balance, working or standing quad stretch, shocker. So whichever leg you want to, let's stretch the left leg first. So that means let's pay attention to the right foot first. How it's connecting to the ground, the toes are spread, rooting, and rising. Okay, and then I'm mirroring here, so bringing the left foot in with the left hand, trying to keep the thighs parallel. Same actions we've worked this whole class. Reach the knee away, draw the foot in, push the foot back, engage the glutes. Knee could maybe go a little bit back behind you without adding back bend. Calmly release. Feel both feet meeting the earth. And then focus more on left foot and how it's rooting, spreading, rooting and rising up through the leg. When you're ready, reaching back for your right foot. Working toward parallel thighs. Push the foot back, draw the foot in, reach the knee down, and engage the glute. Knee reaching down and a little bit back behind you, possibly. Carefully release the foot, coming to the top of the mat. Let's reach the arms forward. Where am I here? Reach the arms forward and really reach the arms forward. And then sit back into chair pose, Katasana. Maybe bring the arms up alongside the ears. Take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Knees could stay bent. Head is hanging. Thighs can press back. Slight gathering of shoulder blades onto the back. Plant your hands securely. Really pay attention. Like, how are my fingers connecting to the ground? And then walk your feet back to plank pose. We're going to try possibly one upward-ish dog. So let's push the floor away with the hands. And imagine you could dial the hands outward, away from each other. And legs and glutes are active here. You could hold plank or hold plank but untuck your toes. So tops of the feet are on the ground. And now just slightly lower the hips. Glutes are active. Imagine you could drag your hands back toward your feet. Hands are still dialing outward. Legs are super active. Chest is rising. Tuck toes under. Downward facing dog. Lower the knees down to the ground. Let's have a block handy and lie on your back. Could just pause for a moment when you get there, checking back in Shavasana, body fully supported. Notice body, notice breath. Okay, and then we're gonna do a pretty much neutral pelvis bridge. So it won't be a big bridge. Feet on the ground, feet relatively far away from you. So if you notice, the further away from you your feet are, the more the pubic bone moves away from you. You can see how far should the feet be away for you, where it's a little easier to find that neutral pelvis. Let's bring the hands to the sides of the rib cage. So thumbs are wrapping around to the back body and fingers are on the front bottom of the rib basket. I'm going to kind of get a little kind of scoop action. So back ribs move up toward your head and the front ribs move down toward the pelvis. We get a little lengthening and a little change of the position of the rib cage. Okay, feel your feet into the ground, pelvis is neutral, and then just lift about a fist height off the ground. Take a feel or take a look at your pelvis. Be sure the pubic bone didn't curl up, pop up. Now squeeze your glutes like crazy and try engaging your abdominal wall downward, all the surface area below the ribs, above the hips, to the right and the left of the navel. Suction cup it toward the inner surface of the back body. Drawing in and up with the pelvic floor. More glute action. If you feel it more in your hamstrings than your glutes, try rocking to your heels so the toes and the soles are up. We're still low, holding here. Might feel like a surprising amount of work. I'm shaking. And then if the feet came off the ground, bring them back down. And now you can tuck the pubic bone and roll through the spine to come down. Let's grab the block. And we'll come into a supported bridge. So you decide, you can keep it low and focus more on releasing through the lower back. We did a lot to open the front of the hips and the quads clearly. So if you would rather have a higher setting on the block, might be more accessible today. It's all the prep work we did. Be sure the block's not underneath your lower back, below the lower back. We're just breathing here for about a minute. If there's variations you'd like to do, where the legs are up to vertical, or the heels are on the ground, those are options. Could take your arms up around your head. if the feet are grounded or the legs are straight with the heels on the ground, just still try to maintain some symmetry here. So just good patterning. All right, so I just noticed my feet are grounded, but like the inner edge of my right foot was kind of peeling away from the ground into my habit body. So rooting evenly through the feet, or if the legs are straight and the heels are on the ground, try keeping the toes pointing up rather than just letting them drape. So it's a little bit more work. And eventually, if the legs are airborne or straight, you can plant your feet again. Remove the block and tuck the tailbone so you can roll through the spine to articulate. Go slow, one vertebra at a time. And from here, making your way into Shavasana. We did a lot of front extension, a lot of back bending. So if your back is a little sore, it's because you worked it. And it might be nice to roll a blanket to go underneath your knees, or you can put a bolster underneath your legs for Shavasana. Just rest here, that's all. And come back into the river of breath. Start to move and stretch and reawaken physical body. If you feel ready, you can rise up to a seat. Bringing hands, palms together at heart center. Bowing head to heart and hands with gratitude for this day, for this life, for each and every breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste.